Good afternoon. We are the August 1823 Stitchers. That's Angie.
And that's Sally.
We are filming today on Wednesday, May 1st. We are back. We had hoped to get back last week, but things happened. So we're here today, and this is Flosstube number 14. We'd first like to thank any of our returning subscribers. We'd like to welcome all of our new subscribers. We've had a few in the past few weeks. And if you're just joining us for the first time, we hope you like what you see and you'll click the like and subscribe button. We're going to go into our April stats to begin with. I stitched 22 days and I ended up with 2 finished objects. Angie, what did you get?
And I stitched 17 days as opposed to 1 day in March, so major improvement. And I have 1 finished object to share from the month of April.
Well, we're going to go over some previous finishes, some fully finished objects, but I don't think either one of us have a fully finished object besides our previous finishes. Itchy nose. Finished objects, new starts, works in progress, stash investment, and any plans.
I'll start with our...
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have 2. I hope I have it right side up. We're mainly a cross stitch channel, but sometimes we do other things, and this is a beaded peyote name tag. It's really loose and flappy, and the person I did it for wants me to stiffen it up, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that. But I used a pattern from EGA that they had on their website to do the font and the whole stitching design. But I had to chart it out, the letters and stuff myself, to figure out where I was going with that.
Yeah, and EGA is Embroiderers Guild of America.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Speaking of EGA, many years ago, the president of EGA had a fundraiser for women's heart health issues, and one of the patterns that they sold was called Charmed Heart, and it is a canvas piece. The canvas piece now, well, mine, as you can see, is in purples and coppery colors. The original was in a tealy green, but that's not my favorite color, so we changed it. And as you can also see, hang on a second, the date that I finished this was 2003, and it's still on the stretcher bars. So it's finished, but it's not fully finished.
The piece I finished in April, it turned out that I had older whips than I thought, because this and another one were not in my cross stitch bin. They were in another bin. You know how you move and move and move and you just take the boxes? That's what happened with this piece. It's old. I know it's more than 20 years old. This is Time for God by Lizzie Kate, and I had all but the last 4 lines done on it. So I finished those, and it's on Oaken, 14 count Oaken by Picture This Plus. And in my stash acquisition section, you'll see some bell pull hardware that I found for it to turn it into a bell pull.
All right, we're going to go on to finished objects. The first part of April, I took a 2-week camping trip with some friends of mine, and we went to Ohio and Indiana, and then back to Ohio. But we went to Ohio to see the eclipse. And the reason we went to Ohio from Florence, South Carolina, is because the couple I was with had a cousin that could come down for a couple of days. She was from Michigan, and so we needed to get as close as we could to help her out. So that's what we did. Well, I decided to stitch part of the Statehood series, Ohio. And this is by Thread Milk Designs. And I used fabric from my stash. It was a 14 count.
You're off the camera. No,
I
you are.
I know.
Well, you're the one doing the talking.
I
can
know.
see you.
Well, anyway, so sorry about the glare there. New setup. So I used fabric from my stash, and then I used Splendor Silk in this red color. And there she is. You got a finished one? You didn't show your...
I forgot to show a previous finish. I got ahead of myself and showed my finished object before, you know. It's been a long time since we've done this, folks.
3 weeks.
You know.
When you get out of the habit, it takes a while to get back in.
This is one that I finished last year, and Sally painted the barn and put it together for me. And I just take it off, you know, each month I take it off and put the next month on. This is May by Stitching with the Housewives. They call it the month-to-month series. And it reminded me of the 70s, all these flowers. And these flowers just look like, remind me of a dating show from the 70s.
I remember that dating show.
So it was interesting to do those, and then have a green barn that had nothing to do with either of those colors, really. So, but I did what they said. This is one of the few that I did what they said.
I like the
The
flowers.
rest of them I changed colors, but this one I kept true to whatever was on there.
Very
all
nice.
the flowers, everything.
Okay. So my second finished object is the Indiana one. And I used True Love's Kiss from, I think it's hand dyed by, it's cotton and it's hand dyed by Rolanda. It came in a Black Needle Society box, I'm pretty sure. And it looks like this. Okay. Any more finished objects?
No,
Do you have any new starts?
I have one new start.
Okay. Let's check that
I
out.
can get it out.
Well, I'm gonna put stuff back in while you're looking for your start. I'll clean it up off the floor later.
These
like-
rocking chairs might not be the best idea.
Eleanor Burns, when
Put
she would
studs on.
cut fabric, she would just throw it over her shoulder. So I'm just throwing things on the floor.
I don't do that. That means I have to pick them up off the floor.
Well,
That's dangerous for me because I just tend to go.
well, you have a bin that you can put stuff in. I did bring an extra bin.
So, I bought this from Market last year. I bought quite a bit from Market last year. And I think this is the first of the ones I bought that I'm actually attempting to work on.
Did we buy Seaside Tiny Town from Market last year?
I don't think that was Market.
No, I don't think it was either.
I don't think it was. But if that is, then I did do that one. But,
I don't think it is.
oh, there it is. Okay. Party Like It's 1776. And it's neat because the flag goes away all the way across the top, and each of these characters are
Founding fathers
and mothers.
and mothers.
And what I've done so far
Do you need the board?
is
I don't think so.
I don't think
I
so.
think we're doing good.
I got George and Martha started, and I got the flag, all the blues done, and what I thought I'd do is I just extend the flag each time. I got, next one is Mr. and Mrs. John Adams. So somebody gave me this.
Angie did. I mean, Candy did.
Candy gave me this needle minder. It's red, white, and blue gnomes, so I put it on this piece. I don't really like this fabric, which is 14 count cappuccino. It shreds. I'm losing threads all the time. I got to figure out how to sew it. I don't think a regular zigzag stitch is going to, at least my sewing machine is probably too loose to keep them all in place.
Probably not at this
So
point.
anyway, I need to find something, otherwise it just keeps, it's just not going to make it. I don't think so. But anyway, I've taken a lot of threads off that have fallen off. But I enjoy the pattern. It's easy to work. It's Little Stitch Girl. I don't think I said that.
I don't think you did either.
But it was right there on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Nicole, Little Stitch Girl. And because I bought all that stuff from Market last year, I refused to even look at Market this year because I wasn't going to let myself do it until I finished what I bought last year. That's Party Like It's 1776.
I don't remember.
I want to have it done by July, I hope.
Year.
So,
Okay. I don't have any new starts.
Oh.
So let's go on to works in progress.
Okay.
I have 3.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. Well, why don't you start and we'll alternate.
Okay. First one I have is, as I find a picture of the pattern, there it is, by Stitching Cabin. It's called the Reading Tracker. I did very little on it, but I worked on it 2 days, and I've almost got the first shelf completed. I've read 4 books on the second shelf already, and I still haven't finished all the books on the first shelf. But, this is what it looks like. And, I did some color completing on the other shelves. There's a lot of back stitching. Every shelf, like this whole square, is back stitched inside. All these squares are back stitched inside, and then everything on the outside is back stitched, and even those little plants and things are going to be back stitched. So, and there are a lot of books to draw. You know, I got to draw a lot of books and back stitch. So
Yeah.
it takes me time to do that. But I wanted to show you a list of the books that I read, and you can take a screenshot if you're interested in any of these books. There's only a couple of them I really want to mention as good enough to thoroughly. There's the first set, and I labeled the genre because if you notice, the genres, they're colored by genres on the shelves, and here's the other half. Whoops, not quite the other half. Well, I can go that far.
Mm-hmm.
And then that far. And
your finger's in the way.
I did read Iron Flame, the second one in the Fourth Wing series. And it wasn't, to me, it wasn't as good as the first one. Maybe I was overwhelmed by all the F-bombs that were in the first half of the book, especially. Because all the characters were using that word constantly. And it's kind of a drawback for me. It kind of makes the book not as good, in my opinion. But the second half, there was not as many, so it got better. The plot was good, but the F-bombs, if you are sensitive to that, don't read that. The only book I ever read that had more of those was The Shining.
So I see where that would. That just
but-
means that they didn't choose to put other words in it. They were lazy and just used that word.
The best books I read were Storm Watch by C.J.A. Box, and that is the Joe Pickett. They have the TV show Joe Pickett now, and that's a poor reflection in the book, I think, because I just love reading all about the wildlife and the mountain scenes and the game warden issues, you know. But there's always a mystery or an adventure that he has to have, and Stormwatch was really good. And Evil Heart by Linda Castillo, however you say it. Katie Burkholder's series. She's a Amish chief of police in the neighborhood that she got out of the Amish in. So she's kind of enemies with the Amish people there. They don't want anything to do with her, most of them, at least in the first part of the series. But her books are always good, great mysteries. And 3-Inch Teeth by C.J. Box. If you like bear attack stories, that would be a book for you. And that would be the only ones I would highly, highly recommend on that list. So,
I on my trip, I read Holmes, Marple, and Poe by James Patterson. I really liked it.
Holmes, Marple, and Poe.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the main character in that?
Holmes, Marple, and Poe.
Oh, okay.
They're three private investigators, and they each have their own unique abilities
Must be a
that they
new
bring.
series?
No, it's not a series.
Oh,
it was
it's
just
a
a novel.
standalone. Okay.
Yeah, that's the name of the
Okay.
And you don't know if that's their real names or if they. It's a mystery. And it's set up that he could write a sequel to it.
I'm gonna have to read that. Holmes, Marple, and Poe. When we get off this, I'm gonna use my phone and go to the library and see if we have it.
Here you go. I'd let you borrow mine, but my copy. But I let Kim keep it. Well, I've been working on fish and chips. This is I know I should. Here's the pattern. We're pretty familiar with this. This is a long dog sampler. I am using sand. It's an overdyed by Fiber on a Whim, and I'm using DMC number 958. And I've been working on this. It's a basket right in this area. As you can see, there's my thread. I was working on it this morning before I came over. Well, before I went and walked the dog I walked. So, my plans were to do one page a month, but that got waylaid in February and March. So I'm trying to pick back up. I did work on it in April some, and then I'm trying to really push forward in May. And it's 18 count.
I think you're farther than Laura on stitching.
She only does it once a month, though, doesn't she?
I don't know. She got really scared because one of the people that are on her Facebook page or whatever had to take out a whole page.
Was she worried that the pattern was wrong, or she just...
It was off to the point where she couldn't do the rest of the design.
Her stitching was off, or the pattern was off?
Her stitching was off.
Oh, okay.
So she put it on Pattern Keeper and has been really counting her stitches now because she didn't want that to happen to her.
Well, you have to be careful with Pattern Keeper and Long Dog. Sometimes the overlap, it does it separate, so you got an extra 5 stitches there.
Well, apparently on the pattern that the woman printed out, the gray section is printed on both pages. So she was off by a whole gray stitch because she thought it was different, and she just went, so it was completely off. It wasn't just like a 1 stitch thing, it was a lot of stitches off. So so I worked on When I Survey by Heartstring Samplery.
Yeah, there's a little bit of glare there. There we go.
Okay. And I'm not very far on it because I know we said that this is a this is a counted cross stitch channel mainly, but for me this stitch was miscounted cross stitch and uncounted cross stitch. So I did the green. The green took me forever, and I showed that on the last Flosstube. So this time I put in all the yellow and all the purple. That's even with that section. And hopefully I am correct, and I will not have to uncount again. But this pattern is tricky, and none of the green is repetitive. All the, there's like 12 flowers or whatever. None of the green is the same. You have to count every single one of them.
Oh, I haven't gotten that far.
I didn't look at that pattern very carefully when I decided I was going to do it. So this one has been very frustrating for me. It's going to be pretty. Oh, and I forgot to give you the details. That was on Illusion by Mystic Fabrics, 14 count. And I chose my own colors. The yellow flowers are in 444. The words and the purple part of the flowers is 208, and the greenery is 3818. And the needle minder on that, the coffee needle minder was from Stitch and Sister Craft, and the I'm Guard also was from Stitch and Sister Craft. They all deserve their due.
Well, while I was away on my camping trip, I started stitching the Blue Flowers Happy Campers. And I'm using an Ada, I'm using a light green Ada, and I don't have the exact name. I have it written down. Well, I have the tag in another book at my house. But it is a pretty green, it's a 14 count. And I got the fire done. It took me a while, I had to rip out. But so far, here's where I am. I've got the boat, I finished up the fox from last time, and I added a fire at the top, and there'll be marshmallows and a hedgehog and a beaver. So it's coming along. There, as with most blue flower, there are a lot of color changes, but it just adds character.
This one's also going to show a little bit of haul, because I saw so many people on the Flosstube using these Q-step stands that I got it for mine. This is what I thought was my oldest Whip 2020, which according I have the receipt in there and everything.
Yep.
It's 14 count moss celadon, and I used all the called for colors if it was available. Otherwise, I used the DMC. And the little needle minder there is from Wish. He was just $1 with no shipping, and I got him one day. So what I did on this part was the bee. That's 225 stitches. Took me 3 days to do it. And I did it upside down because it was too much to reach the top holding this stand. So I did it this way, and I turned the pattern upside down. And a trick, if you don't know this, if you stitch upside down, then the stitches are still going to go the same way.
Correct.
So that's how I had to do this one. And I'm ready to go over here and do summer. I had to take some of the white stitches out because I miscounted again. My miscounting adventures. So, and the Q-snap stand I got from Aliexpress, it was only $21, and normally they're much more than that. This is a huge Q-snap stand, by the way.
Well, you can get 2 sizes on it.
I didn't know how big it was going to be, but I am enjoying it. It's easier to, I don't have to hold the Q-snaps.
Well, that's good. That's good.
So.
Well, my last work in progress is my Dogwood Assisi pattern that I'm doing for my Embroiderers Guild chapter. This year we decided to do techniques, and the first one was Assisi, and we're using petite projects from the Embroiderers Guild of America. And if you remember, you can go on their website and print petite projects out and use them in, well, we're using them in our chapter. So I finished up the back stitch here with the dogwood, and I worked on some of the background this weekend, and it's stitched on flamingo fabric, which was I can't remember who dyed it, but Pretty Flamingo is the floss, and that's from Live and Die in LA for the pink. And then the DMC is I think it's 53. It's the gray variegated, and I'm using the darker around the dogwoods and then the lighter to do the background. And there's some back stitch, and I'm gonna use the pink again for that. But if I decide to put that on there, I don't know. I may just make a simpler border around. When I get to that part, I'll decide. Since I'd made a mistake in the beginning and ripped out some stuff. Oh, here, let me show you the pattern. I taught you about it, but here it is. And in this picture, when I printed it, I thought that was green in the background, but no, it is gray. Okay, that's all my works in progress.
I have one more. This is Super Mario by Choco Cocco Stitch. I saw this being done by Stitching by the Cape, who has not done a floss tube in like 6 months or more. But my dad loves Super Mario, and he got it for us, and we played it all the time. That was the only way we had a TV in our house. Normally during the school year, our TV would be in the cellar because he wanted us to concentrate on our chores and our schoolwork. We were farm, and so we did a lot of chore work, and we didn't have much time for homework if we watched TV. So during the school year, the TV was in the cellar. But when he discovered video games, he decided that was worthy, and so we started with Super Mario and Pac-Man. Donkey Kong. So we did all those, and he was really
Atari.
Infatuated with that. Now, I'm doing this on blueberry 14 count fiber on a whim. The needle minders are from Black Needle Society, the flock star pigeon, and apparently I took the pigeon off. All I have is the Super Mario one.
Oh.
So I don't know where the pigeon is. But anyway, this is in honor of my father. And looky, 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 I finally finished the whole left to right bottom tunnels are done. So now my next stitch will be starting Super Mario right in here. So I'm but he's 2-page pattern, so, you know. Yeah, I've already got him in place. But he's a lot bigger on this. So I'm really excited that I've come that far on it. But I'm not going to work on it with this next rotation because I got other things I need to finish for the fair too. So I need to work on other things. Fair and birthday gifts and Christmas gifts, you know. Things that have dates on them determine my biggest amount of plans. So I just want to say a little bit about what's been happening. First of all, I had a mighty fall, and I had to it took 1, 2, 3, 4 people to help me get up off the floor. So, and then apparently Jack had a fall Friday night. I think he tried to jump up on the recliner and landed the wrong way. And I had to wait, you know, until Monday to take him to the vet. Turns out he has a herniated disc in his neck. And it's going to be a long way of healing, probably at least 6 to 8 weeks. And who knows? My sister says that this just leads to more and more problems. I hope that's not the case because I frankly don't have the funds. But please pray for Jack. He's my guy, and I've had 2 days without him because he's been staying at the vet until he can get to the point where he can stand up on his own. So, and that's why Flosstube has been between, you know, me being sick and stuff and life happening. We have not had,
we're just 3 weeks behind.
Yeah.
Or a week behind, because we usually film it about every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Twice a month. We only got one last month. We got none the month before, so I think we're doing good.
It's
we
my
had one
fault,
in February.
though.
Oh,
So
it is what it is.
Anyway, we're back to stash acquisitions, and we, as they say, have major haul.
We do, because I just was, this past weekend, I was at our Region Embroiderers Guild retreat, and we did a retreat because the national seminar is in Atlanta in August, and so rather than doing classes, they wanted to keep the price fairly low so that you could save up and go to the national seminar. So, but where I was on the way up, there's a cross-stitch shop in Hendersonville, and she opened up on Sunday, so I went on Friday and on Sunday because I forgot to get something on Friday. Although, now that I think about it, if I had taken my charmed heart off of the stretcher bars, I could have used those.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's okay. And then we went, we were up so close, we were at Annabellas. Where we were staying was 6 minutes to Annabellas. And so I kind of went a little crazy.
And I discovered Aliexpress. You've already seen one of my purchases from Aliexpress, that Q-snap stand. Can't wait to show you the other stuff. And our Michaels, we have a local Michaels that just opened. So that was part of my haul. And when they went to Sandy's Cross Stitch on the Go, a couple of things were picked up for me. And Bee Creek had a sale.
Who? What?
Bee Creek. They're the ones who do the Kay's Creation.
Oh, okay.
Stands and such. And I got notified. 40% off those stands is
Pretty
major.
good deal.
So,
All right, well, let's just get started.
I'm going to start with Bee Creek
All
just to
right.
get out of my way. I got this lap stand. You put it under your leg, or between your legs, however you want to do
You
it.
can rest it on top.
And, well, you could, but I probably would. And I have a dog on my lap too, so I'd rather have it
I
under
rest
my
it on
leg.
top.
But I got the Q-snap one. This is just the whole Q-snaps, not the stretcher bars and all that other stuff. Because that's what I use mainly is Q-snaps. So it was, normally these are $110 at Bee Creek, and I got it for $66. That's what 40% off means. So if you're interested in something like this, make Bee Creek your favorite store, and you'll be notified of any sales and stuff that they have.
Well, when I went to Sandy's kits up canvas pieces, so I got the summer barn quilts and liquid threads, and of course I needed some 22 needles to go with it, the piece of canvas. And on Sunday when I went back, I got the stretcher bars and the tacks, so I'm good to go on that. Ready to get started.
It's been harder and harder for me to find the John James needles and Peacemaker. I like John James and Peacemaker. And so everywhere I go, they seem to have DMC needles, which I don't really like too much. So they picked these up for me. And then the piece that I finished, Time for God, they got me a bell pull. Ooh,
The top, what?
where's the design board? You can't
Oh.
see it.
Sorry. Oh. I was like, what's she looking for?
So they got me a bell pull. I wanted a generic bell pull. Because all the ones I could find were seasonal, but they found this one, an apple will work. I really wanted just generic, so I'll be excited to get that one finished. So that was what I got from Sandy's.
Well, I got a few more things from Sandy's, of course. I got some tart tin to finish some things just to throw in my finishing pile. I got a full kit. And this is a Redbird Winter Spool kit, Faithworks design. I love these praiseworthy stitches. This is the Petite Snow Buddies Etui. It's got everything you need. It comes in this little snowman. Adorable. I got several Mill Hill kits, obviously. The coffee cup, the cardinal, the ugly sweater, and the hippie pumpkin. Oh, thank you. I picked up some needles to try. These are colonial needles, and they were petites. 26 petites. Some more finishing forms. These were an unusual shape, and I picked up 2 of those. I like those. Now, I did pick some patterns up at Sandy's too, but I can't show them to you. No, I bought these. I can't show them to you because they don't have a picture, but they were these postcards. So these are the backs, if that helps you. And then I like all the black work in the back of this Santa, the 2024 Santa. I thought it was really pretty from Prairie Schooler, duh, Sally. And I had so much fun stitching the Seaside Tiny Town. I liked I like winter. I got the Frosty Tiny Town. The Frosty Tiny Town. And in my Annabellas stash, you'll see something else. And then she had this Riolis kit, which makes some ornaments, and they were cute. They're kind of, yeah. Anyway, and she informed me that these were wools, and I told her I had a Riolis kit at home, so I was familiar with that. But she was just letting me know, make sure I was okay with that. And that's what I got from Sandy's.
I forgot that I had Candy pick up something for me at Stitch and Kitten. I had seen the Carolina Stitchers show this on their Flosstube. So I called up the Stitch and Kitten right away, and they had 1 copy left and saved it for me. And when Candy went to pick up her pattern, she picked up mine too. So this is the South Carolina spool.
Oh.
And I look forward to stitching it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. All right, well, like I said, we were up close. We were at Lake Junaluska, which is really close to where Annabellas is. And so I picked up a few more things. I picked up the Anytown Tiny Town, because I really like the barn quilt that was on the building there. When I was in Ohio and Indiana, we saw lots of barn quilts. I got the Spring Quaker, one, because I like the color, and two, I like Quakers. And I picked up, excuse me, it called for the Classic Colorworks Blooming Crocus. It would help if I put my glasses on, but I'm too lazy. It calls for 3 skeins on 28 count, but I picked up a piece of 18 count, so I think I can get away with just 2.
I watched Mischievous Stitchers yesterday, and she just finished that. And she said that people told her she should get 3, but she said when she got to almost the end, when she got to the end, she had one of her strands left, full 6-inch. So she said, if you are a very loose stitcher or you're prone to making mistakes and having to undo and lose the thread, go ahead and get the 3. But she said you can get by with 2.
Well, like I said, I got a smaller piece of fabric. I got the sloth, the Quirky Quaker sloth. I really enjoyed stitching the Quirky Quaker frog for my nail tech / yoga buddy. And Primrose. I like Primrose Cottage. Kind of reminds me of Lizzie Kate. I know they probably don't want to hear that comparison, but itchy nose again. Christmas trees and stitching, please. I like the Little House Needleworks House Rules. Erin Elizabeth's cat tier. This was a market for this year.
I knew you were going to get that.
I saw it.
Somebody had that, and I thought Sally's going to get that.
Candy showed it to us. Anyway, I did the summer tier, and it stitches up really fast. And then I really liked the Yule Goddess by Tiny Modernist. I like Tiny Modernist patterns. I have several. It's Christmas is a pattern by Annabellas. Instead of doing the whole thing, I'm going to pull them out and make ornaments out of the little pieces. And the last pattern I got was All the Things Cross Stitch. I saw the sampler made up. It was beautiful. And then I got some fabric from there too. I got print's kind of tiny here. I got an 18 count mushroom to do the Spring Quaker on. And then to add to my stash, which are, 16 count platinum, 14 count lavender. It's the only piece of purple they had there. And 28 count light gray. Oh, thanks, Candy. You chunk it at me, it goes in my stash.
This is the other thing I really got from Aliexpress. 447 colors, Egyptian cotton that reflect DMC colors, and 447 colors for $26 at Aliexpress. Now here's the key that I have found about Aliexpress. First of all, if you're a first-time buyer, that's when you want to buy this 447 color piece. But it's not one of those things where you get that price and you can go away and come back and go away and come back, because you need to place that order right away. Otherwise, you'll lose your discount. When you come back, you're going to be shocked at the price you have to pay. So order whatever you can without leaving the Aliexpress, and you'll get, a considerable discount on your stuff. So I got that Q-snap stand, and I got this, and I also picked up a 50 color bundle for 92 cents.
Wow. That
I gave to a friend who was trying to set up her stuff, and it ended up she didn't need that stuff, so it went to another friend.
There you go.
So Aliexpress, I thought it was worth it. Now some people said don't order your fabric from there. Well, I don't think I'd want my fabric from a Chinese place anyway. This is basically Chinese.
Was Chinese.
I believe. It's foreign. I know that.
Okay.
So, I recommend Aliexpress, A-L-I Express, all one word. But get your value while you're checked in the first time, because they're going to recognize you after that, and you're not going to get that discount. Just a word to the wise.
All right.
Okay. Yes, I have Michael's.
Go ahead.
Michael's opened up. Well, first of all, after I'd gone to Michael's, I got this felt. I had this friend pick up this felt to put for my bell pull that I'm going to do. It's going to be the backing for my bell pull.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
So you're going to make your bell pull?
I was going to ask some friend to do it.
That's what I was thinking.
I was pleased with some of the wood things that they had that we could finish items on, Sally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
thought we could finish some of our stuff on these.
I did see that.
I like that they're rounded, you know.
Yeah, the edges are rounded.
Thought that was kind of neat. And they had an inset rectangle.
I picked up one of those.
They had an inset hexagon.
I think I got one of those too.
And then I got 3, since this is common, squares.
I think I got one of those too.
I thought Michael's was very expensive, except for, you know, these things were reasonable, but some stuff was ridiculous.
Well, I mean, they are a craft shop. And
yeah.
Anytime you put craft in front of something, you can jack the prices up. I also noticed that Michael's has a goat milk soap base.
Yes, I saw that.
So you can make your own soaps.
Yeah.
I have a kit I bought from, it's the book How To and the supplies to make it from Barnes & Noble. And when I was checking that, little girl was like, I said, I'm sorry, it's the last one that was over there. Anyway.
So did you have any plans?
Well, yeah, I want to keep stitching on stuff. Obviously, I've got a women's retreat coming up in the middle of May, and we make, I make the plastic canvas name tags for and so this year we had about 15 newcomers, but I was able to find some from old days that had not, you know, the person came once, never came back, that I can use. And so I only had to stitch about 10 of them, I think, 10 new ones. I got to put the ribbons on them and then the bead for this year. And since the topic is on Noah's Ark, I found these rainbow polymer beads to use. Beads, yeah. So I'll be working on retreat stuff for that. I got to change the banner, too, to reflect the year that we're going. It's like 35th, 34th, 35th. I can't remember, to tell you the truth. I do want to, when I was at Annabellas, I met a lady that has a Flosstube. It's called Hot Mess Hobbies. And it's HOTTMESS, HOBBIES. And when I looked it up earlier, I had it all as one word, and that didn't help me any. It gave me some weird thing. So then I separated them out, and I found her. And I, after listening to her on the Flosstube, I actually watched her whip parade a couple of months ago, or whatever she posted it. I think I was dog sitting, and they had YouTube TV, and it's just easier to type in whip parade and sit there and mindless listen to it while you're stitching. What about you, Angie? You got some plans?
HOTT mess. Hobbies. We have an audience.
Yes, we do.
As far as floss tubes, I just have been looking for new South Carolina ones because I found out there was a bunch more I didn't know about. The only one I can remember her name is called Sea Dragon's Lair, which kind of got me. Well, it turned out I met that girl. She went to Coker College here in Hartsville, and she kept coming into the cross-stitch scrapbook store that we had.
Scrapbook store.
And she did a lot. She got close to the owner and showed her how to use the Cricut to make some wonderful decorations and stuff. And so it was nice to see her. And you should check her out because she does a lot. And she's very active with retreat. She goes to Steel City Stitchers and all the Barefoot Needle Art one here in Myrtle Beach. Mm-hmm. She's been going to all those. And there were a couple others that I found, but I can't remember their names because it was basically their name, I think. And I'm bad at that anymore.
You write it down.
As far as plans, I want to get back to the Wonder Whale and try to finish a page on the Wonder Whale. And I want to finish July. Remember, I couldn't get that finished for my barn.
Yeah.
I just have like some flowers and some pieces of watermelon and they're really small, so I should be able to get those done before the next Flosstube if I'm well enough to stitch.
Yeah.
I want to do the summer octagon on every season. I won't finish the summer octagon before the next Flosstube. You'll probably see that for quite a few Flosstubes before it's finished, because that's a big full coverage piece.
It is.
And I want to get all my books caught up on the reading tracker. And I want to do some more green on When I Survey.
I need to pull that back out.
Not really I want to do, but I'm making myself do it. Because that's
You're
supposed to
eating
be
your
a
vegetables first, right?
birthday present for somebody. Or a Christmas present for that somebody. It'll probably be Christmas, because I don't think I'll have it done in time for birthday. But I got to get it done this year. So.
Gotcha.
Anyway. We try to come back in 2 or 3 weeks. This is May 1st, so we'll try to have another video before the end of the month.
Yes.
That's all we can tell you. Normally it'd be 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but
usually 2 weeks, but
if we can get rid of the pine pollen and I can stop coughing. Well, today I had to use a nebulizer because I was coughing so hard. That pine pollen is just deadly to me. It makes my asthma go crazy.
I thought the thing was gone by now.
Nope, it's still.
It came back.
You can still see some yellowness on the trees around my place.
I noticed my car when I pulled in the garage yesterday, it had some yellow on it.
Yep, it's still active, and it just makes me cough. And my other plan is to get Jack well.
Yeah, there's that. That's a good thing.
Get my dog well. He's supposed to be my service animal.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to be a
and
service
I'm going to
animal.
be his service human for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, there you go.
And if hopefully he'll be able to stand well enough for me to pick him up today. If not, hopefully tomorrow.
There you go.
So anyway,
got nothing else.
We are August 1823 stitchers.
Yep.
And we have what went up.
You have to give them needles up or down?
Oh no, we didn't do. We haven't been watching enough Flosstube to do a needles up, needles down.
No, we did. But we did talk about a couple. She mentioned one. I mentioned one. But we haven't been watching enough Flosstubes to give a needles up or needles down. Frankly, whip parades and kit parades and March Madness and all that, it's just wearied me from watching Flosstube. And when we get back to people doing normal Flosstubes, then I'll be watching them more, but I don't get into all that other stuff.
Yeah, I've been watching Baywatch on Prime.
Oh,
took me back to the 80s.
I've been watching Beyond Paradise, which is, Death in Paradise.
I don't know what that is.
Well, it's a British show that's very funny.
Oh, okay.
But it's mystery based too.
Gotcha.
And one of the inspectors that left because he loved this woman who didn't want to be living in the Caribbean. I found out there were 2 seasons of a show with him and his fiance in it in England.
There you go.
So I've been watching Beyond Paradise on BritBox.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't have BritBox.
Well,
all right. I don't have anything else to share.
Yep, enough rambling.
We're waffling, as they say over in England.
So I think that's all, folk.
Bye.